Hello, once again, YouTube. How's it going? Freshly leveled up character here. Now ready to make a video about it. I was waiting for a long while to hit 95 before I started making this video. Anyway, welcome to this video. This is going to be about this character, which is a dexterity stacking Deadeye that is utilizing Storm Rain. So as you can see right here, level 95, oops, all beams. We have 1,747 dexterity. Feels good, man. So quite a lot of dex. This character overall has been really, really smooth. Like, actually kind of... I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't really expect it to be quite as good in the survival department or and everything else. But this character has wound up being easily one of my top characters for sure, and has been just an absolute blast to run around with, and it's just been a really good time to just cruise around with and just destroy everything. So with that, I will quickly do a we're gonna do a Maven kill here, or at least so I hope. But we'll do a Maven kill, just kind of show the character, kind of show what damage looks like, playstyle, all that kind of good stuff, and then from there we will actually talk about the character. But for now, let's do it. So.
The first piece comes to join
my collection.
Let's get it. Sit down here. Look at that melt. I could have, if I wanted to, not even put those balls down. I could have run around in a circle and took them out.
Space aligns.
But that doesn't matter. It's just regular Maven, so.
Behold my collection.
I will have what I want. It will not be an escape.
Who we got? That one, and that one. All right, we're taking a lap.
Scurry.
Take a lap.
Cascade of pain. Stand still.
I'm not standing still. I'm not standing still.
Resistance will be punished.
Hi, brain.
Time contorts.
Up.
Scurry.
Something that's really cool about this build is that the beams will also trigger the Mirage Archers to go put out as well. So you can, like, passively be putting Mirage Archers out. Oh, damn it. Oh, that was so close. Actually, this is last phase. I'll put these in the middle. That's fine. Damn. If she'd done one more attack, or if I was just a little bit faster in realizing what she was doing, I would have,
Scurry. Scurry.
would have got that.
Stand still.
Oh,
Resisting.
that was kind of a bad placement on that one. Ah, well. Fine.
Reality bends.
Boop.
Punishment inescapable.
Why are you here?
This will not be an escape.
What did the ground look like again? I can't remember. It's definitely lose track of the ground from time to time. Okay.
Scurry. Scurry.
Up, I forgot. Ooh! Just in time. Never mind, we're good.
Stand still. Cascade of pain.
Main champ. Main.
Take this.
No, you take that. Alright. But yeah, as you can see, regular Maven wise. Yay,
Living
Tink.
toy must enjoy our contests, for it can.
Yay, Tink. Orbital conflicts are worth what? Like, I think they're divine right now. And Arn's Anguish. Cool. Anyway. Yeah, that's this character. As you can see, very, very comfortable, very very, very good. I have cleared tier 17s with this build. I haven't tried Ubers, like, even in general with any character yet, actually. I think I just recently got enough fragments to really... Yeah, I could try... This is just Uber Cirrus, though. But yeah, I've mostly just been farming, so I really hadn't taken the time to try out Ubers. I will probably give them a go. I'm not sure if how well this character will do. I'll certainly try. And I think it will do decently, but my fear with this character is regardless of the fact that I'm high evasion and I have a good life pool and I'm spell suppress capped, is that I will still just get one shot by most things that Uber's put out, especially Shaper. Shaper's dots on the ground are so brutal that I don't know how well that'll go. But anyway, I'll try Ubers with this character at some point. And we will see how that goes. But with that, though, we can kind of talk a bit more about the character, how everything is pieced together, and things you can look for or do if you wanted to build this character as well. It is a ton of fun, and as like I said, really, really surprised me as far as all that goes. What I will say is I'm going to go over the tree and the ascendancy stuff first, I think, just because this is a little bit of a shorter area. It's pretty cut and dry what you're doing here, so I kind of just wanted to go over this first. So what we're doing, of course, is we are a Deadeye. I didn't realize her eyes are staring like that. Please stop looking over there. So we're taking focal point, of course. Effective marks, really good. Gathering winds, believe it or not, even with this sort of nerfed. Gale force and tailwind in general, super good. I couldn't remember how far shot works when it comes to range skills, truthfully. Truthfully, I do not remember if far shot essentially is always active because you're firing the arrows up and then they come back down. So far shot might also be a really good choice, but I really wanted to try Occupying Force. I wanted a reason to do Occupying Force, which is, as you saw, all the Mirage Archers were just kind of left out on the ground and were then also firing their own Stormrains, which I personally really like how that feels and how it is, because it kind of gives you this ability to continue moving while your Mirage Archers are still setting up beams and are still dealing damage. It's like having totems without them being totems. And I've actually really been enjoying that aspect of using Occupying Force. So I actually think this has been a ton of fun, and I would honestly highly recommend that you do give it a go with Occupying Force, regardless of if far shot is indeed active the whole time. And then, of course, we're taking Endless Munitions because the more projectiles that you have, the better for this. They will arc between everything. So they'll arc between each other. They fire off, what is it, 5 times? Yeah, they fire off 5 beams and then go back. So the more projectiles we have, the better. Usually, when you're leveling with this skill, if you're leveling with it, you would level using greater multiple projectiles until you're kind of able to get to Endless Munitions, I would say. The ordering I did with this was I did go Occupying Force, Endless Munitions, and then I believe I went Gathering Winds and then Focal Point. That sounds right. So that's what I would do personally. I think that's just a good way to go about it. So that's what I did as far as ascendancy wise goes. The tree, though, overall, we're just coming around and we're taking just generically good projectile stuff. We're grabbing as much dexterity as we can, because like I said, we are stacking dexterity as much as possible. So we're grabbing dexterity everywhere. We have utmost swiftness here, along with the 5% increased attributes there. We have just, general traveling stuff. We want both of these bow things here. Bow attacks, fire, and additional arrow, and crit chance. I can't remember if there's something that's technically slightly better. We might have proj speed somewhere, so that increase in reductions to proj speed might technically be more damage, but I wanted more Mirage Archer duration because obviously we're using Occupying Force, so the longer that they stick around and can be shooting away, the better. We're using a Brutal Restraint, and you're using Brutal Restraint because you can get some just flat plus 20 dexterity mods here. We have a couple, let's see, 5% increased dexterity there. I think there's another 5% increased dex, another 5% increased dex there. So yeah, you just want to try to maximize how much percent increased dex and flat dex you can get off of these nodes. There might technically be one that's a little bit better, but I just liked this one. I think it was also relatively cheap to buy. I think this is divine to buy, so this was nothing. And then we're taking, of course, Forces of Nature. We're just trying to get, again, we're just trying to get as much Dex as we can and still fill out everything else. So we are spell suppression capped as well. We're going to spell suppress here, some here. I have a little bit on my chest piece. We also have the suppression if everything has evasion rating, which it all does. And then yeah, up here we're taking another frenzy charge, of course, because frenzies are good. Taking the jewel slots, and ideally this jewel here, obviously I would like to be better, but I needed it specifically for the fire and lightning resistances actually, and the increased intelligence. But I'd love to roll this to have. I still need fire and lightning res. I'd actually like it to be. I think I need it to be flat intelligence. Yeah, I still need 11 intelligence total. So, a little bit of an optimization to be made there. We just have more generic plus all attributes, everything here. So that's mostly what you're looking for on jewels. You're looking for increases to your attributes. You're looking for attack speed or crit chance or crit multi with bows or with lightning skills. But mostly just you're looking for just take plus dexterity and plus all attributes, because that is just a very good combo right there. That's just double dipping. And of course down here we're taking Fangs of Frost because we're doing a lot of cold damage. And we're also converting some of our fizz damage that is not cold damage is converted here. You could reasonably not run this. You could also and then take the critical mastery here, take the multi against unique enemies, would probably be either potentially better or right around the same. But yeah, that's the tree for this character. That's kind of everything as far as all of that good stuff goes. Nothing too out of the ordinary, I feel like, for this character. We're maximizing dexterity, we're getting life, we're getting crit, we're getting damage. Pretty usual stuff. Also make sure that you take the increased proj damage per 16 dexterity. We have a lot of dexterity. And then with that, we can roll into just the gear itself. So obviously the big catalyst, the big thing that's actually allowing us to do this build is that implicit mod right there. 2 to 4 cold damage to attacks with this weapon per 10 dexterity. The most ideal bow base that you can get is probably a spine bow. Spine bows just have better flat attacks per second and also better flat critical strike chance than a ranger bow. But they were also like 6 divines to buy one that has this synthesized mod on it, and I was not about to spend that kind of money to do that. So very much so, I think ranger bow is at least a decent alternative. I was using a thicket bow, is literally this one. I was using a thicket bow for a good amount of time as well. So basically just use whatever fits your budget. That's a good bow base. Like I said, ranger bow probably at least second best. Maybe a highborn bow could potentially be slightly better. I think it just has slightly better attack speed, but it has less crit chance. So, give and take. I feel like ranger is a good middle ground. Unless you have a spine bow or have the money to put into getting a spine bow. And then literally all that I did on this thing was spam Essence of Sorrow, which you need a lot of Essence of Sorrow for this build. I literally just spammed Essence of Sorrow until it hit something else that was decent alongside the penetrating cold resistances. So overall, this is a pretty good bow as is. Yeah, so solid bow right there, and then just added cold damage. I think you could craft the onslaught like I have on the little thicket bow there. That's relatively cheap. It's kind of expensive, but it's an okay middle ground. Might be a couple other rune crafts that are slightly better, but for the time, this just adding flat cold there's nothing wrong with that. It's always going to be solid. And I guess I'll go over gems at the same time I'm going over this. I'm always indecisive on what I'm going to do, but I'm gonna go over gems at the same time I go over each item. So, Storm Rain, of course, 2120. It's extremely cheap to get a 2120. Literally almost nothing. We're using Mirage Archer, of course. Cold Penetration support, Awakened Cold Penetration. This gives us chance to inflict cold exposure. Don't think these are extremely expensive either, but if you get one at level 5, might be a bit more, but it's a very, very good support for this, of course. Increased critical damage support here, just bigger crits. Like I said, this is actually why I need more intelligence, is for increased critical damage support. I believe I need 111 total to level this up to level 20. I'm sitting at 100. So I might try to eventually reroll that one jewel just to see if I can get 11 more intelligence out of it, but that would be really specific to do, and I probably ultimately won't do it, and I'll just keep it at this. But if you got 11 more intelligence somewhere, awesome. Then we have, of course, Awaken Elemental damage with attacks. This is just really good. Big damage increase. Also makes us be Reflect immune, at least with Storm Rain, which is nice. And then Inspiration support, which is just good for cost reduction, crit, more LE damage, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, overall pretty basic setup with the Storm Rain, but like I said, it's really, really strong. And then we have Fractal Thoughts over here. Fractal Thoughts. This is also kind of the other semi-annoying part to build around with this build, is you need to have Fractal Thoughts here, of course, because it gives you 15% increased dex, while your strength is higher than your intelligence. So a lot of this build is kind of ensuring that you have enough strength that is more than your intelligence, but also still have enough intelligence to meet your requirements. And it's just kind of an annoying game of picking and choosing and figuring out how you can maximize your stat values there. But overall, once you do get it all balanced out, it is, of course, a extremely good setup. And in here, we just have Grace, Precision, and Enlighten, and some Skitterbots, all just generically good stuff. Poised Prism over here. This is just more damage that is adding for every dexterity. A little bit of fire, a little bit of lightning for our other stats. That doesn't matter. It does give us a lot more cold damage to attacks per dexterity. I did buy myself the Corrupted Implicit there for bow attacks, firing an additional arrow. Very, very strong, obviously. But for the longest time, I was just running a regular Poised Prism. I think, yeah, it was literally just a regular Poised Prism I was running for the longest time. This was just an upgrade I made, which was about 6 divines, I think, maybe 9 divines, somewhere around there. So, expensive upgrade, but once you get it, it does feel really nice because you're just putting out another arrow, so it's stacking up your beams, you're overlapping a lot faster, and it will just feel really nice to run with. And then we have, of course, a synthesized Jade here with percent increased dexterity, and then I just slammed Essence of Sorrow on it until it hit something decent. So it hit dexterity, hit strength, which again, we need strength to also balance out. Had an open suffix, so just crafted some resistances, life, lightning damage to attacks, that's fine. Our rings here are just some fractured all attributes, and then again, just slam Essence of Sorrow until it hits something good. That is what both of these are, is just fractured all attributes. These are extremely cheap. Same with the belt. Belt is percent increased dexterity, Essence of Sorrow slamming again. This could reasonably be upgraded, but as it stands right now, it does what it needs to do, and I will probably just end up leaving it as well. Fractured dexterity gloves, of course, as well. And also, the main reason I did this build, I did kind of forget to mention this, but the main reason I did this build is because Dex Stacking right now is actually incredibly cheap. Intelligence stackers are always just a very strong and common thing that you'll see within the game, and so those items tend to be fairly pricey, and strength stacking replica Alberons this league in Settlers of Calgar is extremely popular and extremely strong, and so therefore it is also going to be incredibly expensive to buy any of these just percent increased pieces. But dexterity, though, not many people are doing dex stacking, so pretty cheap opening. Even if you really wanted to, say you were able to figure out resistances elsewhere, right? You were able to figure out resistances somewhere else. You could actually get I think it's 6% increased dexterity implicit rings. Those are synthesized rings with that, for I think 2 divines each, last I looked. So if you were able to fix resistances elsewhere, you could get even more dexterity by doing that. I cannot do that. That is just going to be I'm going to be stretched way too thin, and it's going to be super difficult. So I just stuck with regular 2 stones with fractured all attributes, so I could double dip with Essence of Sorrow. With that, though, the other big piece to this build is a Grasping Mail with 1% increased attack speed per 25 dexterity. Very, very big. I think this mod though, basically you're paying just for the mod. The mod itself was like 1 divine. And then you can kind of just do whatever you want with it from there. You could try to recombinate it. I'm not sure if you can recombinate the grasping mail thing onto a regular base. Like, I don't know if you could put it onto like a syndicate's garb. If you can, definitely try to do that if you have the money for it. Try to recombinate the attack speed off of a grasping mail and onto a better base, and then craft from there if you can. If you're not able to, then just get a grasping mail like this or something similar. Maybe split it with a beast or something. Do whatever you got to do to make it good. This fits all of the needs that I had for it at the time and still does, so I probably won't be changing anything here. And in it we just have Frostblink and Blink Arrow, both these just for movement, that's it. Assassin's Mark with a life tap and mark on hit. Of course, this gives us power charges and more crit, all that good stuff, and I don't have enough, and actually mana's kind of uncomfortable if you raw dog it, so we are not raw dogging it, we're life tapping. Gloves, like I was saying, fractured, plus dexterity, intimidate, increase damage per 100 dexterity, all that good stuff. And then we are just using this is our first Mana Forge setup, right? So we have Mana Forge with Frenzy, this gives us to give us our Frenzy charges, of course. And then we're doing Cast on Crit, Frostbite, because we're doing a lot of cold damage, right? We want to lower those cold resistances. Frostbite, extremely good for that. So with that is the setup we got rolling over here. And then I believe it's just here. Yeah, we have Garakon's Flight. Garakon's Flight also extremely cheap and very, very cozy for this build. That is definitely the reason why I'm popping it over 5,000 life. I think if I took these off, still decent, but that's, you know, that's 900 life I'm getting from one item. So definitely an extremely good pair of boots. If you got one that was double corrupted with plus frenzy charges or something, awesome. But they are extremely good just as a base. These can roll higher dexterity than this, better evasion rating as well. But they were about 30 chaos, nothing expensive here. So very, very good. All I have in here right now is Mana Forged and Ensnaring Arrow. Ensnaring Arrow just makes enemies take more damage from barrage hits. What do you know? We're doing that a lot. And then flask-wise, nothing crazy here, just normal, you know, Jade, Quicksilver, Diamond. I will say a Dying Sun. Dying Sun is extremely good. I dropped this off of Shaper, so Shaper dropped one for me. These are like 5 divines, last I looked. So if you are not able to afford that, you could literally use a Wise Oak, I want to say. Use a Wise Oak. I believe that's what I was using. Yeah, Wise Oak. This is what I was using before I dropped the Dying Sun, and now I'm just using Dying Sun. Taste of Hate would actually also be quite good. I could not see any reason why Taste of Hate would be banned there. So, yeah, probably between just those options there, one of those will be very, very solid for the build. With that, though, I think that's pretty much everything for this character. I'm not really sure of any other, like, huge upgrades. You know, I think this character is just a very, very solid character. They are, you know, right where they are. I've been able to, like I said, I was able to do just a ton of content with this character. They've cruised through they've cruised their way all the way up to 95, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I really just wanted to do something with Stormrain. You know, Stormrain is just such a cool skill, but it always just threw me off how you had to build around it. And finally, I was like, you know what, I'm doing it. I'm committing to it. And yeah, so that is this character. Per usual, I will have the path of building in the description below, maybe with a couple of notes as well. Nothing too crazy, but just at least a couple notes. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that you've been enjoying Settlers of Kalgur. It has been such a fun expansion. And we also have Path of Exile 2 coming out soon. Woo! So I am very excited. The grind continues. I will probably do a few more things with this character maybe, and then be moving on to another character, which hopefully I'll have another video about once I get that character up rolling and built. But for now though, YouTube, hope you enjoyed, hope you've been having fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.